Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, rubbing your temples, trying to will away another throbbing headache. But what if that pain isn't just a nuisance? What if it's actually trying to tell you something important about your life, your choices, and your spiritual path? You might think that headache is just your body complaining, but it's actually whispering a secret message about your soul. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pain is just pain, right? Wrong. Every ache, every twinge, every stabbing sensation in your body is like a text message from your higher self. And trust me, you don't want to leave these messages on read. Because if you ignore what your pain is trying to tell you, you might miss out on some of the most important lessons of your life. But here's the exciting part. Once you learn to decode these messages, you'll have a superpower. You'll be able to understand yourself better, make smarter choices, and even start healing yourself from the inside out. It's like having a direct line to your own inner wisdom, all through something as simple as paying attention to your backache or that knot in your stomach. Now, let's get real for a second. Ignoring these spiritual pain messages isn't just a missed opportunity. It can actually make your life a whole lot harder. Think about it. If you keep brushing off that tension in your shoulders as just stress, you might be overlooking a crucial sign that you're carrying too many burdens. And what happens when we carry too much for too long? We break down, burn out, or blow up. But it gets even more serious than that. When we tune out the spiritual meaning of our pain, we're basically putting duct tape over the check engine light of our soul. And just like with a car, if you ignore those warning signs long enough, you're headed for a major breakdown. That could mean a health crisis, a relationship falling apart, or feeling totally lost and stuck in your life. Here's the truth. Your body knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. It's trying to protect you, guide you, and help you grow. But if you keep dismissing its signals as just physical stuff, you're missing out on a goldmine of personal growth and healing. It's like having a wise teacher trying to give you the answers to life's test, but you've got your fingers in your ears going, la la la, I can't hear you. So, what's the cost of not listening? It could be years of going down the wrong path, making the same mistakes over and over, or feeling disconnected from your true purpose. And let's be honest, none of us have time for that. Life's too short to spend it ignoring the very tool that's trying to help us live better. Alright, now that we know why this stuff matters, let's dive into how it all works. Think of your body as a super advanced GPS system for your soul. Just like your phone's GPS tells you when to turn left or recalculate your route, your body sends you signals to guide you on your spiritual journey. But here's the cool part. This GPS doesn't just tell you where to go. It tells you why you're off course in the first place. That migraine might be telling you it's time to speak your truth. Those achy knees could be a sign you need to be more flexible in your thinking. And that annoying back pain? It might be saying you need more support in your life. In this video, we're going to look at 5 common types of pain and decode their spiritual meanings. We'll start with headaches and work our way down to your feet, uncovering the hidden messages in each area of your body. And don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging with just the problem. For each type of pain, I'll give you a simple, practical tip to start addressing its spiritual root cause. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying you should ignore medical advice or skip the doctor. Always get checked out if you're in serious pain. What I'm offering is another layer of understanding, a way to address the root causes of your pain on a deeper level. So, are you ready to turn your aches and pains into your own personal spiritual advisors? Let's dive in and start decoding the messages your body's been trying to send you. Let's start at the top with one of the most common complaints, headaches. We've all been there, right? That pounding in your temples, the pressure that makes you want to bury your head under a pillow and hide from the world. But what if that headache is more than just a pain in the neck, or head, in this case? In the spiritual world, your head is connected to your thoughts, your beliefs, and your connection to higher wisdom. It's like the crown of your personal kingdom. So when pain shows up here, it's often a sign that something's off balance in your thinking or your spiritual connection. Think about it. How often do you get headaches when you're stressed, overthinking, or trying to control everything around you? That's your body saying, hey, ease up on the mental gas pedal. It's like your brain is literally hurting from all the pressure you're putting on it. but it goes deeper than just stress. Headaches can also be a sign that you're out of alignment with your true self or your higher purpose. Maybe you're making decisions that go against your core values, or you're ignoring your intuition. Your head pain is like a spiritual alarm clock, trying to wake you up to these misalignments. Here's another angle to consider. Some spiritual traditions believe that headaches, especially around the forehead or third eye area, can be a sign of expanding consciousness or psychic abilities. It's like your spiritual antennae are growing, and you're feeling the growing pains. If you've been doing a lot of meditation or spiritual work lately, this might resonate with you. So, what can you do about it? Here's a simple tip. Next time you feel a headache coming on, try this quick exercise. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. Then, ask yourself, what thoughts am I holding onto too tightly? What am I trying to control that I need to let go of? Just sit with those questions for a minute or two. You might be surprised at the insights that pop up. Remember, the goal isn't to make the pain magically disappear, although that would be nice. It's about listening to what your body is trying to tell you. By tuning into the spiritual message of your headaches, you're taking the first step towards not just relieving the pain, but growing as a person. And here's a bonus tip. Try spending a few minutes each day in nature without your phone or any distractions. Let your mind rest and connect with something bigger than your daily worries. It's like hitting the reset button for your spiritual crown, and it might just help keep those headaches at bay. Now, let's move down to an area that causes trouble for so many people, the back. Whether it's a dull ache in your lower back or a sharp pain between your shoulder blades, back pain can really put a damper on your day. But in the spiritual realm, your back is about way more than just standing up straight. Think of your back as the support system for your whole body. It literally helps you stand tall and carry your weight through the world. So when pain shows up here, it's often a sign that you're carrying burdens that aren't yours to bear, or you're feeling unsupported in your life. Let's break it down a bit. Lower back pain is super common, and in the spiritual world, it's often connected to feeling insecure or worrying about basic needs like money or safety. It's like your body is physically acting out that feeling of your foundation being shaky. If you're constantly stressing about paying the bills or feeling unstable in your job or relationships, your lower back might be where that stress shows up. Moving up to the middle back, pain in this area can be about feeling stuck in the middle of conflicting demands or emotions. Maybe you're trying to please everyone and losing yourself in the process. It's like your body is physically expressing that feeling of being pulled in different directions. And then there's upper back and shoulder pain. This is often about responsibility and feeling overburdened. Are you the person who's always taking care of everyone else? Do you have trouble asking for help or delegating tasks? Your upper back might be screaming, "Enough already! I can't carry all this." Here's the thing. Your back wasn't designed to carry the weight of the world. It's meant to support you, sure, but not at the expense of your well-being. When you're constantly taking on other people's problems, never saying no, or feeling like everything depends on you, your back pain is your body's way of saying, "Hey, put some of this down." So, what can you do about it? Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Stand up straight, take a deep breath, and imagine roots growing from your feet deep into the earth. Feel the strength and support of the ground beneath you. Now, as you exhale, visualize all the burdens and responsibilities that aren't truly yours floating away from your back, dissolving into the air around you. This might sound a bit woo-woo, but stick with me here. The point of this exercise isn't to magically fix your back, although relaxing those muscles certainly won't hurt. It's about changing your perspective. It's a physical reminder that you don't have to carry everything, that it's okay to let go, and that support is available if you open yourself to it. And here's a practical tip to go along with that visualization. Make a list of all your responsibilities and commitments. Now, be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Which of these are truly yours to carry? Which can you delegate or even let go of entirely? Sometimes, relieving back pain is as much about what you take off your plate as what you put on it. Remember, taking care of your spiritual back health isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you're not overloaded and you feel supported, you're actually in a much better position to help others and live your purpose. It's like they say on airplanes, Put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. A strong, pain-free back is your spiritual oxygen mask. Now, let's move to an area that's often called our second brain, the stomach and gut. You know that feeling when your stomach is in knots, or you've got a gnawing pain that no antacid seems to touch? Well, your gut might be trying to tell you something that has nothing to do with what you ate for lunch. In the spiritual world, your stomach and digestive system are all about processing. Not just food, but life experiences and emotions too. It's where we digest what life throws at us and decide what to keep and what to, well, let go of. So when pain or discomfort shows up here, it's often a sign that you're having trouble processing something in your life. Think about it. Have you ever had that gut feeling about something? That's not just a saying. Your gut is literally full of neurons that communicate with your brain. It's like a direct hotline to your intuition. So when your stomach is acting up, it might be because you're ignoring that inner wisdom. Let's look at some common stomach issues and what they might mean spiritually. Heartburn or acid reflux, for example, could be a sign that you're having trouble accepting or stomaching a situation in your life. It's like your body is physically rejecting something that doesn't sit right with you emotionally or spiritually. Nausea or a queasy feeling might be telling you that something in your life is out of alignment with your values or true self. It's that feeling of "this doesn't feel right" made physical. Maybe you're in a job that goes against your principles, or you're hanging out with people who bring you down. Your stomach is trying to tell you, hey, this isn't good for us. And what about those sharp, stabbing pains? In the spiritual realm, these could be a sign that you're holding onto old hurts or resentments. It's like those painful emotions are literally stabbing you from the inside. Your body might be saying, it's time to let this go. It's hurting us to hold on to it. So, what can you do when your stomach is sending you these spiritual SOS signals? Here's a simple practice you can try. Put your hands on your belly, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths, really feeling your stomach rise and fall. Then, ask yourself, what am I not digesting in my life right now? What does my gut really want me to know? Just sit with those questions for a minute or two. Don't force an answer. Just let whatever comes up, come up. You might be surprised at the insights that bubble to the surface when you give your gut a chance to speak. And here's a practical tip to go along with that. Start a gut feeling journal. Every day, jot down any hunches, intuitions, or gut reactions you have about situations in your life. Over time, you might start to see patterns, places where your gut wisdom was spot on, or areas where you tend to ignore your intuition. This can help you start trusting and listening to your gut more, which in turn can help ease those spiritual stomach aches. Remember, your gut is like your internal compass. When you learn to listen to it and trust its wisdom, you're not just easing physical discomfort, you're aligning yourself more closely with your true path. It's like having a built-in GPS for your soul, right there in your belly. And hey, while we're talking about stomachs, don't forget the power of laughter. Ever noticed how a good laugh seems to shake everything up in your gut? That's not just a coincidence. Laughter is like a mini massage for your internal organs, helping to move energy and release tension. So next time your stomach's in knots, try watching a funny video or calling that friend who always cracks you up. Sometimes, the best medicine for your spiritual stomach is a good belly laugh. Let's shift our focus to those creaky, achy joints. Whether it's your knees popping when you stand up, your fingers stiffening as you type, or your hips complaining after a long day, joint pain is something many of us deal with. But in the spiritual world, your joints aren't just about movement. They're about flexibility in life. Think about what joints do. They allow different parts of your body to move in relation to each other. They're all about adaptability and going with the flow. So when pain shows up in your joints, it might be a sign that you're being too rigid in some area of your life. Let's break it down by some common joint pains. Knee pain, for instance, often pops up when we're being inflexible about moving forward in life. Maybe you're resistant to change, or you're stubbornly sticking to a path that's not working for you anymore. Your knees are saying, hey, let's be open to new directions here. What about those aching fingers or wrists? In the spiritual realm, these can be connected to how we reach out and connect with the world around us. If you're experiencing pain here, it might be time to look at how you're communicating or expressing yourself. Are you holding back from reaching out to others? Or maybe you're overextending yourself, trying to grasp too many things at once. Hip pain is another common complaint, and spiritually, it's often linked to fear of change or big decisions. Your hips are major weight-bearing joints, and they're crucial for balance. When they hurt, it might be a sign that you're out of balance in life, or you're afraid to make a major move that you know, deep down, is necessary. And let's not forget about the shoulders, those joints that literally help us shrug off burdens. Pain here can be a sign that you're having trouble letting go of something. Maybe you're holding on to resentment, or you're struggling to release control over a situation. Your shoulders are begging you to just let it roll off. So, what can you do when your joints are crying out with these spiritual messages? Here's a simple exercise. Stand up and do a full body shake. I mean, really shake it out, from your fingers to your toes. As you shake, imagine you're loosening up not just your physical joints, but all the stuck, rigid energy in your life. This might feel a bit silly, but stick with it for a minute or two. The point isn't just to get your body moving, although that's a nice bonus. It's about physically embodying the idea of flexibility and adaptability. It's a way of telling your body and your spirit, hey, I'm open to moving in new ways. And here's a practical tip to go along with that shaking. The next time you're faced with a decision or a change, try physically moving in a new way before you respond. Take a different route on your walk, rearrange your furniture, or try a new type of exercise. These physical changes can help shift your mental and spiritual perspective, making it easier to be flexible in other areas of your life. Remember, healthy joints in the spiritual sense aren't about never experiencing discomfort. They're about being able to move through that discomfort with grace and adaptability. When you learn to be flexible in your thinking and your approach to life, you might find that your physical joints start to feel a bit more easeful too. And hey, while we're talking about flexibility, don't forget to give yourself some grace. Just like you wouldn't expect to touch your toes on the first try if you haven't stretched in years, you can't expect to become spiritually flexible overnight. It's a practice, and every small bend in your usual way of doing things is progress. Now, let's move to an area that often causes a lot of worry, the chest. Of course, if you're experiencing severe chest pain, especially if it's accompanied by other symptoms, it's crucial to seek medical attention right away. But for those occasional twinges, or that feeling of tightness in your chest, there might be a spiritual message trying to get through. In many spiritual traditions, the chest area is seen as the seat of the heart, not just the physical organ, but your emotional and spiritual heart too. It's where love, compassion, and connection reside. So when pain or discomfort shows up here, it's often related to matters of the heart in a much deeper sense. Think about the phrases we use: heartache, heartbreak, heart to heart. These aren't just poetic expressions. They reflect a deep understanding that our emotional lives are intimately connected to this area of our body. When your chest hurts, your heart might be trying to tell you something important about your emotional world. One common chest sensation is that feeling of tightness, like you can't take a full breath. In the spiritual realm, this can be a sign that you're closing yourself off from love or connection. Maybe you've been hurt before and you're afraid to open up again. Or perhaps you're holding back from expressing your true feelings to someone important in your life. Your chest tightness is like your heart saying, hey, let me breathe. Let me open up. What about that achy feeling, like there's a weight on your chest? This might be a sign that you're carrying emotional burdens that need to be set down. Are you holding on to old griefs or regrets? Are you taking on other people's emotional baggage? Your heart might be telling you it's time to lighten the load. And then there's that fluttery feeling, or heart palpitations. While these can certainly have medical causes and should be checked out, from a spiritual perspective, they might be signs that you're not living in alignment with your heart's true desires. It's like your heart is trying to beat out the rhythm of your authentic path, but something in your life is out of sync with that beat. So, what can you do when your chest is sending you these spiritual signals? Here's a simple practice. Place one hand on your heart, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths, really feeling your chest rise and fall. Then, ask your heart, what do you need right now? What are you trying to tell me? Just sit with those questions for a moment. Don't try to figure out the answers with your head. See if you can listen from your heart space. You might feel a sensation, see an image, or hear a gentle inner voice. Trust whatever comes up, even if it doesn't make logical sense right away. And here's a practical tip to nurture your spiritual heart health. Make a heart list. Write down the things, people, and activities that make your heart feel open, warm, and full. Then, commit to incorporating at least one thing from this list into your life every day. It could be as simple as calling a loved one, spending time in nature, or doing a random act of kindness. Remember, your heart, both physical and spiritual, thrives on love, connection, and authenticity. When you learn to listen to its whispers, or sometimes its shouts, you're not just easing physical discomfort. You're aligning yourself more closely with your deepest truths and your capacity for love and joy. And here's a final thought. Just like your physical heart needs exercise to stay healthy, your spiritual heart needs regular workouts too. Practice compassion, express gratitude, allow yourself to be vulnerable. These are like push-ups for your spiritual heart, keeping it strong and resilient in the face of life's challenges. Finally, let's talk about the foundation of it all, your feet. Those hard-working appendages that carry you through life, quite literally. When pain shows up in your feet, it's not just about ill-fitting shoes or too much standing, though those certainly don't help. In the spiritual world, foot pain can be a sign that you need to reconnect with your foundation, your purpose, and the earth itself. Think about what feet do. They connect us to the ground, they help us balance, they move us forward in life. So when pain crops up here, it might be a message about how grounded you feel, how balanced your life is, or whether you're moving in the right direction. Let's look at some common foot issues and what they might mean spiritually. Heel pain, for instance, could be a sign that you're hesitant about moving forward in some area of your life. The heel strikes the ground first when we walk. It's about initiating movement. If your heels hurt, you might be dragging your feet, literally and figuratively, about taking a necessary step in your life. What about pain in the balls of your feet? This part of the foot is all about pushing off, propelling yourself forward. Pain here might indicate that you're having trouble gaining momentum in life, or you're resisting the forward motion that your spirit knows is necessary. Arch pain is interesting from a spiritual perspective because our arches are key to our balance. If you're experiencing discomfort here, it might be a sign that something in your life is out of balance. Maybe you're giving too much in one area and not enough in another. Your feet might be asking you to find a more sustainable equilibrium. And let's not forget about those achy toes. Spiritually, toes are about the details of our path, the little adjustments we make to keep our balance as we move forward. Pain in your toes might be telling you to pay attention to the small stuff, the day-to-day choices that add up to your life's journey. So, what can you do when your feet are crying out with these spiritual messages? Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Take off your shoes and socks and stand barefoot on the earth. If you can't get outside, standing on the floor works too. Close your eyes and really feel your feet connecting to the surface beneath you. Imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet, deep into the earth. This grounding exercise isn't just about physical sensation. It's a way of reconnecting with your foundation, feeling supported by the earth, and reminding yourself of your place in the grand scheme of things. It's like hitting the reset button for your spiritual connection to the ground beneath your feet. And here's a practical tip to go along with that grounding. Start paying more attention to your feet in daily life. How do they feel when you walk? Are you stomping around angrily, tiptoeing cautiously, or striding confidently? Our walk says a lot about our approach to life, and simply bringing awareness to how you move can spark insights about your spiritual path. Remember, healthy feet in the spiritual sense aren't about never encountering rocky paths or uphill climbs. They're about feeling secure in your footing, trusting your path, and knowing that you have the strength to walk your unique journey. When you learn to listen to the wisdom of your feet, you're tuning into a deep, primal form of spiritual guidance. And hey, while we're talking about feet, don't forget the power of a good foot massage. Not only does it feel amazing physically, but it can be a powerful way to connect with and honor this often neglected part of your body. As you massage your feet, or treat yourself to a professional massage. Set an intention to listen to what your feet have been trying to tell you. You might be surprised at the insights that bubble up when you give your spiritual foundation some loving attention. Now, I want to share a personal experience that really drove home the power of listening to our body's spiritual messages. A few years back, I was going through a tough time in my career. I had a job that looked great on paper, good pay, impressive title, the works. But every morning, I'd wake up with this knot in my stomach and a splitting headache. At first, I did what most of us do. I ignored it. I popped painkillers, drank more coffee, and pushed through. But the pain just got worse. My back started acting up too, feeling tight and achy all the time. I was a mess and I couldn't figure out why. Then one day, I came across this idea of pain having spiritual meanings. I'll be honest, I was skeptical, but I was also desperate. So I decided to give it a shot. I started paying attention to my pain, really listening to what it might be trying to tell me. And you know what? It was like a light bulb went off. Those headaches? They were screaming at me to stop overthinking and trust my gut. The stomach aches? They were telling me that this job, as good as it looked, wasn't aligned with my values. And my achy back? It was buckling under the weight of pretending to be someone I wasn't in order to fit into this corporate world. Once I started listening, really listening, things began to change. I took a leap of faith and left that job, started my own business doing work I truly believed in. And you know what? Those pains started to ease up. My headaches became less frequent, my stomach settled, and my back felt lighter. Now, I'm not saying it was all sunshine and rainbows. Starting a business is tough, and I had plenty of new challenges to face. But the difference was, I wasn't fighting against myself anymore. I was aligned with my purpose, and my body knew it. This experience taught me something profound. Our bodies are wise, way wiser than we often give them credit for. They're not just flesh and bone. They're like antennas picking up signals from our deeper selves, our spirits. And when we learn to tune in and listen, amazing things can happen. As we wrap up this journey through the spiritual meanings of pain, I want to leave you with a few key thoughts. First, remember that your body is not your enemy. Those aches and pains, they're not just random annoyances or signs of breakdown. They're messages, important ones, from the deepest parts of yourself. Learning to listen to these messages is like learning a new language, the language of your own soul. Second, this isn't about ignoring modern medicine or avoiding doctors. If you're in serious pain, please get it checked out. What we're talking about here is an additional layer of understanding, a way to address the root causes of pain on a spiritual and emotional level. Third, healing is a journey, not a destination. Don't expect to decode all your pain messages overnight or for all your aches to magically disappear. This is a practice, a lifelong conversation with your body and spirit. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small insights and improvements along the way. Lastly, remember that you are the expert on your own experience. While there are general spiritual meanings associated with different types of pain, your pain is unique to you. Trust your intuition and don't be afraid to explore what feels true for you, even if it doesn't match what anyone else says, including me. So, what's next? I encourage you to start paying attention to your pain in a new way. The next time you feel an ache or discomfort, take a moment to pause and ask, what might this be trying to tell me? Keep a journal of your insights, try out some of the exercises we've discussed, and see what shifts for you. Remember, every pain you have does say something about you, but it's not saying you're broken or that something's wrong with you. It's saying you're alive, you're growing, and you're on a journey of self-discovery. Your pain can be a powerful teacher and guide if you're willing to listen. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the spiritual meaning of pain. I hope you found some insights that resonate with you and some tools you can use in your own healing journey. Remember, you're not alone in this. We're all learning to listen to our bodies and spirits, one ache at a time. So, here's to less pain and more understanding, less suffering and more growth. Here's to tuning in to the wisdom of your body and the whispers of your soul. Your journey to wholeness is already underway, and every step, even the painful ones, is leading you closer to your truest, healthiest self.